Hey Pacific Crest, thought it was time for a little update here. And we have some things we have to manage a little bit more, so we're going to talk about that. So the first thing is open gym slots. It's becoming really challenging for people to find slots. And we didn't set up any parameters on pre-sign up, so this is no fault of anybody's. Everyone's just doing their thing. But we're going to have to get a little bit more involved in management. So what we're going to do is limit the amount of classes that you can sign up for in a 7-day period to 3. And that'll give other people the opportunity to start grabbing some of those, I'm going to say prime slots, because I know there are some that are more useful than others. But honestly, the gym is pretty much booked all day long until 8 to 9 p.m., from 4 a.m. to 8 to 9 p.m. So you can see how much people are using those slots. So that means if you decide to plan yourself a week or 2 out, then you can grab 3 slots from a Monday through a Sunday, and that's it, except 4 classes in advance of that. So I don't want this to get too confusing, but say for example, we do have a couple members that grab that 4 a.m. slot, and my guess is that not many other people are looking for that. So I want them to have the opportunity to look at the schedule the night before, and if no one signed up for it, then they can grab it. The same would apply for like the 5 a.m. and the 6 a.m. So that means 4 classes prior to that, you could reserve the slot. So for example, the 5 a.m. slot, you have the 4 a.m. before it, and then you have the 11 p.m. before it, the 10 p.m. before it, and the 9 p.m. before it. So check the schedule at 9 p.m. that night. If nobody signed up for that 5 a.m. slot by that time, feel free to grab it in addition to the 3 that you pre-signed up for. And the same would be true in the next day. If I wanted the noon class, then I would just check by 8 a.m. that day, and if no one signed up for it, I could add that into my already existing 3 classes. If this is too confusing, just reach out and we'll try to explain it, because I don't want slots to just sit there because you went to bed and weren't be able to sign up for them, especially those early morning slots. So hopefully that's as clear as mud, as we say. I'm just looking at my notes here for what we're talking about next. Just so you know, it probably goes without saying, we're not going to take any slots from you. Me, Nicole, Matt, or Gretchen. So we're done. If we had scheduled slots in the past, we're done doing that, because every one of those slots is vital. So they're all going to you folks at this point. And let's talk reopening. So it was really confusing. Initially, what Kate Brown said is for Multnomah County it'd be 4 weeks, which would end tomorrow. But on the 3rd of December, she essentially rescinded that and started categorizing counties by risk level. And we are in the highest risk level. You can check this out on OHA's website, Oregon Health Authority. We're in the extreme risk level, and there's parameters to move in and out of these different risk levels. So if I remember right, you have to be below, in a county of our size, we have to be below 200 cases per day, and then it'll bump us down. Plus there's an amount of mortality that goes with that as well. So it's a combination. So essentially we are in purgatory until those numbers shift down. So that's why there's no announcement date on whether we can reopen or not reopen. So we are in holding until then. Just so you know, 2 gyms that we are really good friends with have been running classes to a certain degree in violation of the orders, and they have been shut down by the health department. So they're out there looking. So unfortunately, this is the most capability we're going to be able to offer until we are allowed to reopen. So believe me, it's been challenging to just sit on our laurels like we are, but it doesn't sound like it would matter anyways, because those gyms are shut down. Not permanently, but they're shut down for the freeze. And last thing, we are gonna offer, or we're gonna try to support what we're gonna call the Lose the Booze Challenge starting on January 1st. So if you want to participate, we want you involved, and we're going to offer a couple different ways to support that. We know it's a super challenging time still, and so we don't want you to feel undue pressure to jump into something that you're not ready to be involved with. But if you want to, Nicole and I and a couple of the rest of us are going to decide to get the booze out of the system for the month of January. And so we'll have more details on that, but that's kind of on the radar for the rest of us. So anyways, thanks for your patience with this long and confusing video, but let us know if you have questions.